From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Welcome back to another episode of Around Foxborough. My name is Julie Love. I'm your host. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. We're very grateful to have our guest today. We have a commissioner of Norfolk County. Hello, Richard. How are you doing?
Doing well, Jerry. Nice to be here, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Richard, if you can tell our audience your name and your title and then what you do in our county, that would be great.
Sure. Well, my name is Richard Staiti. I live in Canton. I am a former member of the Select Board in Canton, serving there 9 years. I'm also a former teacher, taught many years at Canton High School, and did some jobs over there as well, before going to law school at Suffolk Law and then pursuing my career in politics again by running for county commissioner during the pandemic. As county commissioner, we meet once a week. Our office is in Dedham. We deal with a variety of issues. Primarily, our job is to focus on the courts and to make sure the courts are properly run and maintained. Just as an example, yesterday, we dedicated the new Norfolk County Superior Court in honor of former Congressman and District Attorney William Delahunt. It was quite a ceremony. The process was about a year in the making. We made some very nice repairs to the roof of the building, which is, again, one of our jobs, to maintain all the courts in the county. And dedication ceremony had a wide range of who's who. It was John Kerry was there. Governor Michael Dukakis, former Governor Dukakis, was one of the attendants. Senator Markey was present. Quite a who's who of politics was in the town on Dedham yesterday. So quite an event. We also have the Norfolk County Agricultural School, affectionately known as the Aggie. And I actually was just elected chair of the Aggie at the last meeting. So I'm very honored to have that position and look forward to taking some of my educational background and working with the staff, of course, and on behalf of the students to make it even better. It's a great school. The Aggie School is a vocational school. The emphasis on the Aggie School is on agriculture and technology, and it's considered the jewel of the county. The other things we do, we work with engineering departments in the county, help them out on different particular layouts. We work with Mass DOT. We have a veterans agent part-time who fills in for veteran services for towns when there's a need for someone to get veteran benefits. And of course, I'd be remiss if we don't mention the fact we also have a recreational facility. Wallaston Recreational consists of President's Golf Course and also a series of tennis courts, pickleball court, and a soon-to-be-built new playground. So county government and the county commissioner's job is similar, but not exactly like being a member of a select board. You have a recreational department, you have an engineering department, you have a veteran services, you have other things that make it similar, yet it's a bigger job because we're responsible for 28 towns and cities. Great job, very pleased and very humbled to be serving as your commissioner.
Thank you so much, Richard, for your bio. And you have quite accomplishment when I read your bio, or the board that you have served and the presidency and stuff. Can you please mention some of the accolades that you have?
Well, trying to stay humble. I mean, it sounds crazy because, well, it's how do they do it? I don't know. I look back, but I did, as I said, I was a teacher for many years in Canton. And I think education is so important for all of us. And it's a firm believer, like being a lifelong learner. Taught also at a college level too, part-time, occasionally would fill in at Massachusetts. But primarily my job was to work at Canton High School. I'm a graduate of Stonehill College. I have a degree in science from Stonehill. I have a master's in education from Bridgewater State University. And I have, as I mentioned, a Juris Doctor from Suffolk. I also have a little background in medicine, I'm a certified medical person. I take care of injuries from time to time, and I did that for a while at Canton High School. I served as the athletic trainer and would take care of different athletes when they were injured or hurt. But as I said, primarily, my focus now is county commissioner, and of course, practicing law part-time. I am a zoning attorney, and I practice that in Canton and in some of the area towns as well. I guess my other position I should mention is I do serve as the town moderator. In Canton, we have an open town meeting, and I've had the pleasure of serving as the moderator for about 20 years. And again, that's a great experience because it gives you practice in dealing with citizens and groups in large and small groups. You have to know your parliamentary procedure, Robert's rules. And I find that all of the things I've done in the past have kind of come to bear to help make me a better county commissioner. So that's been a great thing to do. And I guess most important thing is, let's not forget one thing, I'm a father of 5 children. I consider that the greatest accomplishment anyone can have, to be a good father and be a good parent. And I'm very proud of my children.
Wonderful. Do you have any website or social media that people can learn more about your activities and then your updates?
I do. I can't think of it offhand right now, but I could give that to you. I have one as an attorney, and I know that the county commissioners have an outstanding website that we've been working on over the last year to increase transparency. And the county website has a background or a bio of each of the commissioners and gives a description of our job, talks about some of the ongoing projects, and also deals with probably one of the main things I would like to touch upon as well, and that is the ARPA program, the American Rescue Plan of Action. So all these things are available on the Norfolk County website. I think if you just Google Norfolk County website, it would pop up and give you the appropriate site. But I'd be glad to get that to you, both those websites for you.
Thank you. And then you mentioned about Zoom meeting on Wednesday that people can participate once a week.
Right. We meet on a regular basis on Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock. We have Zoom options are available, and until the law has been changed, I think Governor Baker extended it, I think, until February of 2013. So we are making use of that option so that people can participate in person or remotely. Again, that Zoom option would be available on our website.
Yes. So, Richard, what was your motivation to run for commissioner of Norfolk County? Sounds like a lot of pressure, and with everything that you're doing, what was your motivation to take this position?
It's a great question. First, let's back up a little bit. As I said, I served the town of Canton as a member of the select board. That was 9 years. It was a very, very, terrific experience when I served, and I did it at a very young age. I took a break on my own and went to law school at night while I was still teaching to get my degree in law. And I had at the time a young family, so I wanted to make sure I didn't overdo things too much. So I took a break from politics. But when I came back, the town fathers asked if I would serve on this newly created Norfolk County Advisory Board, which each town gets to send a delegate to represent them on regular basis with the commissioners. So being a member of the County Advisory Board representing Canton, I really got to know an awful lot about county government. Obviously, we got to work on the budget. We got to work on other issues. The advisory board is set up by the legislature and by statute. They have the final say on the budget and only the budget. So it's like similar to being on the finance committee of a town or a warden committee of a town, just like they may have recommendations at town meeting. The advisory board in the county does the same thing with the county commissioners. So I served that position for many, many years. When one of the commissioners back in 2020, he was quite ill and decided he wasn't going to run for re-election, I decided no time like the present, maybe I'll go for that position. I had the knowledge and the background, and I've been familiar with county government. and I wanted to kind of get back in. So I ran, and I was a very good race. There were some very good candidates. I was very fortunate to win, very qualified people, but somehow, in some way, coming from the smallest town, I won. So it was great. It was a good win, and we're halfway through our 4-year term.
Wonderful. So, being a commissioner of Norfolk County, what is your joy of serving this position?
What is my joy or my duty?
Oh, what
I
is
didn't.
your joy and what is your pleasure of serving this position as a commissioner of Norfolk County?
Well, I've always taken public service to heart. I feel it's a way of giving back. That's just a trait that runs in our family. I think that was something instilled by my mom and dad. You work hard, take care of your family, and give back to your community. So it's something, with all humility, I've always done. And being a county commissioner, I ran on a basis of change. I felt change was needed. There were a lot of things that could be improved upon. And I think that resonated with an awful lot of voters. Obviously, something did. I got lucky enough to get a victory. So in the last 2 years that I've been in, my joy has been, I would say, twofold. One is, particularly at the Aggie school, we've had a complete revamping of the administration there. And without getting into too many details, we have a new superintendent, we have a new business manager, a new principal, and they are terrific. They are just terrific. And I can see already the changes that are coming about in the Aggie culture and in the Aggie school itself. So we're some great days are ahead for us there. That brought me joy. That terrific brought me joy there. On the commissioner's side, I have been unafraid to take a position that sometimes doesn't go with my colleagues. And yet, at the end of the day, we still remain friends. We remain cordial. And we have found that sometimes having discussions about differences of opinion is what our government's all about. And I think that has resonated with people. I hear a lot of positive comments about the fact that, you know what, you took a different position, but your position made sense. We understand it. And, maybe there's some thought about changing things for the better. So those are some of the small things. It's an honor, as I said, to be a commissioner. There's only 3 commissioners in the entire county. And Norfolk County, I would say, in general, is very well run. And it's one of the best counties in the Commonwealth.
So, as a commissioner of Norfolk County, what is your day-to-day life like? So, do you go to different towns, visit some events, or do you go to State House? Do you advocate for our people in Norfolk County? So, what does that look like?
So as a commissioner, we do interact with local officials, like members of the board. We interact with state reps, state senators, and even federal officials. A great example was, again, this OPERA program, the American Rescue Plan of Action, in which federal funds were given under the Biden administration to be distributed to all the counties. Norfolk County received over $137 million in federal funds. It is our plan, our goal, to distribute that to the local cities and towns. I believe Foxborough, as of yet, hasn't applied for any of the money yet, not yet, but many towns have. In fact, to date, we have given out $35 million in federal money that we're administering as Norfolk County. So what does that tell you? We're receiving the money from the federal government, which means we have to interact with the U.S. Treasury to make sure we're doing it right. We're interacting with Congressman Auchincloss and Congressman Lynch to make sure that the money is, again, being properly spent. We are definitely interacting with local select boards and their town administrators to have applications for this money. And we're even interacting with state reps and state senators on other programs that are going on. For example, we got a grant for a new playground in Quincy, and that was the action of a local rep from Quincy, Bruce Ayers, who worked with us to get that money. So it's a fascinating position. It's fascinating. We work with all different layers of government in different ways. Now, I don't work with those people every day, all right? But again, it's similar to being like a member of the select board in a local town. I remember being a select board member, and on a Monday, I might go to the grocery store and someone might say, hey, my street wasn't plowed, or my street needs paving and things of that sort. It's not quite on the same level of that. I don't have people coming up to me in Canton saying a problem about the local town, but in general, it's more than just one meeting a week. We have negotiations that take place with the unions. We have budget subcommittees that sometimes require time. And as far as the Aggie School, we meet as a group of trustees, there's 7 of us. We meet once a month as well on a regular basis to deal with the Aggie. Now that's, again, a little misunderstanding, because the Aggie School itself might have a budget meeting or it might have negotiations. So when you get at it, there's a lot of meetings that are involved. Some of them are short, some of them are long, some are on Zoom, some are in person. My typical day is normally I devote at least some time to checking in with the county director, John Cronin, just see what's going on. There's always something going on. I might check in with Bill Buckley, the assistant director on the opera program. There might be some follow-up on some grants that we gave out, and people might have questions on that. I communicated recently with a town that got $1.7 million last week. They had a couple of questions, a couple of city councilors reached out to me. So that's the kind of work week we have. And it's a great challenge. And again, I enjoy it a great deal. I do.
Thank you so much for that. And so, Richard, what's your connection with Foxborough? Do you have any good memories about Foxborough? Do you work with our town selectman, town manager, or maybe Patriots Place? Do you have any stories that you can share with us about Foxborough?
Well, the closest memory I have, is the most important, I think, is my daughter, Casey, lives in Foxborough. She worked for a while at the library as well. Like, she's left that position. And that's a great thing for me because I'm over there a lot. In fact, I'll be over there this week. I have 2 beautiful little grandchildren that are in Foxborough and her husband. Great family. So that draws my attention right off the bat. I remember campaigning in 2020 on a very cold day when it was snowing, and I was at the Common, and I was out there with a group of supporters, and I got a great reception, a great feeling. So there's some good memories there. I do enjoy Foxborough Patriot Place. I'm a big Patriot fan, and they seem to be doing better now. I do go over there when I can and enjoy the different things they have to offer. But, as I said, I don't mean to be, let's say, concerned, but Foxborough hasn't yet applied for the ARPA grant. And I think what they may be doing, like a lot of towns are doing, is that they might be waiting for a little bit of time to go by and see how the economy pans out next year. Certain towns that are in very good financial shape are looking at this opera money as something to plug in the holes the following fiscal year. So I suspect that Foxborough is one of them. Just like my own hometown, Canton, is taking the same approach, and towns like Westwood and other towns like that, they seem to be kind of sitting on a wait and see attitude. But as I mentioned, we've spent $35 million has been given out, and we're more than willing to write more checks. So hopefully they'll be coming forward. That opera money, I should clarify too for you. It's money that can be spent on certain projects. So what the idea behind it is, you're looking to do it for either water projects, sewer projects, for infrastructure. It's to stimulate jobs and to help the local towns out. The other categories include broadband technology, community development. We gave a community grant out to Rentham for a park. Public health might be in the area of hiring a nurse to deal with COVID-related issues, and revenue replacement. I think Foxborough is slated to get $3.5 million, and they must apply before the end of 2024. As long as they apply before the end of 2024, they will be awarded the grant, in the proper method. And the money must be spent before the end of 2026. Whatever we don't spend, we have to give back to the federal government.
Well, thank you so much for the insight. So I have a question about you as a person. Do you have any hobby? Do you have anything that you enjoy outside of your busy work?
I like to read. I wish I could read more. I do read. I'm a walker, not a runner. I do work out, though. I do like to work out. I think that's helped me a little bit maintain my health. I love sports. Love all sorts of sports. Big Patriot fan. Red Sox, not as much this year, but I love the Pats. I'll watch them all the time. My other hobbies are I play a little chess, and I'm pretty decent at it. Most people don't know that, but I have a pretty good rating on chess. And I photography a little bit part-time. I'm on social media. I've done some pretty good work on some photos and things like that. I love to travel a little bit. I'm starting to have a little time to travel. I just got back from Ireland and England. It was my first time overseas to those countries, fascinating countries. And, just keeping myself busy. There's all sorts of things to do. I enjoy Cape Cod, enjoy the ocean, and all that has to offer as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that answer. So, Richard, I know you do a lot of things and juggle a lot of meetings and deal with human rapport, like politics, obviously. But what is your advice for people who who's maybe struggling with multitasking or doing a lot of projects at once? You seem to be really great at organizing and taking care of a lot of businesses. And then also at the same token, taking care of your self-care, yourself, and then staying in great shape, not just physically and mentally as well. Do you have any advice on that?
I do. That's again, it's a very humbling question because people do ask me that, Jory, all the time. They look at what I do and how I've done it, and they want to know what the secret is. I think number one, I'm very blessed with good genes. I give all credit, to my mom and dad. I've been very blessed with good genes. Number two, I'm highly organized. You have to be organized. You have to be. So I have a calendar. That's one of my secrets. Not much, but I write a calendar out every week on Sunday morning. And what am I doing for the week? And I have a calendar for the month, and I even have a calendar for the year. And I update it constantly in terms of where am I going and what am I doing? Because if I don't do that, I sometimes forget. I also take time for me every morning. I'll take some time spiritually, and I will take time to reflect on what the day is going to be, what's ahead. I think that's important. So before I get deep into things, I take time for a little bit of spirituality, you may call it. I quoted, in fact, at the Peace Rally, one of my favorite saints, St. Francis, which I hearkened on and try to follow. My grandmother was a Franciscan tertiary. A lot of good lessons you can learn from St. Francis. In fact, I was astonished yesterday. William Delahunt, the former congressman, quoted something from St. Francis in terms of saying, don't be afraid to laugh at yourself and don't look at things as being silly. Just get up and get it going, more or less. And again, that's my philosophy. I try to tell my children that you can do it. Don't say no. You can do it. And when people told me you couldn't win county commissioner, I said, well, I'm going to try it and give it a shot and work hard. So work hard, be organized, take time for yourself, make sure you work out, keep yourself healthy. As I said, I do, work out. I do work out at home, but I have a regimen. I work out. And when this interview is over, I'm going to be going to continue that workout, make sure it's in there. But it's just being organized and being focused,
And how do you keep up with such a good relationship with your coworkers, politicians, and then local officials or people in the county?
Various ways. And that's, I think it's easier now than what it used to be. I mean, you can send a text message to someone. Hey, how you doing? You doing okay today? Just checking in. Phone calls. I'm still old school. I like to have a call with people. At times visit in person. There are different events. And some of those events are both political and social. Like I'll be going to an event next week in Braintree, and it's a fundraiser, but it's also a social event. And there'll be some of my friends there that I'll catch up on. It doesn't take an awful lot of effort to just send a little message to somebody, be it a child or a friend or someone sick or ill, and let them know you're thinking of them, praying for them, you're checking in, making sure they're going to be okay. I'm amazed. It's great. The only thing I missed was during that pandemic year, we all had isolation. Everything had to do with, Zoom and with the mask on and things of that sort. But they said, just find the time. I'm in a good position right now. I'm able to do it.
Wonderful. Before you go, my last question is, what is your short-term goal and then long-term goal as a commissioner and then also as a person?
Wow. Let's start with the person. I think that's most important. Big believer in development and education. So I hope to continue to learn because I learn each day how much I don't know and how much there is to learn. In fact, the other day, there was something that somebody was mentioning, and I said, gee, I never knew that. Again, it's amazing how much there is to learn and to experience, in our world. It's a great thing to do. So I hope to keep on learning and to keep making myself a better person and a person who can help others. That's most important. And what do I really want to be? I want to finish my next 2 years as strong as possible, so that hopefully the voters will look at my name next time around and say, we know this person, he's made a difference, and he's worthy of our vote. I think there's a lot to be done. As I said, as far as the Aggie School, we've started to make some real positive changes there, which I would love to talk about another time. And it's on its way to being a great school. And as far as the commissioners, we are improving transparency. They were accused before of not being transparent. And I say to you, I respectfully differ with that from all comers, because we have a website, we're on Zoom. Every meeting is on Zoom or on YouTube. Our agendas are published and we don't vary from that. There's no last minute changes that come up. And again, my role, getting around the county and being around and being visible is most important. I would say in the 2 years that I've had the pleasure of being commissioner, I have been to most, but not all the towns. I haven't. And there's more towns that I want to drop in and visit. And that's one of my goals. Foxborough, I've been there for you, and I will go visit you again. And I really enjoy your town. But there's other towns that I need to get to as well. I was down in Millis last weekend supporting a candidate for state representative. And again, that's a great opportunity for me to meet constituents and meet new voters and help out a person who, again, is going to make a difference. So I hope I answered your question. I hope I did.
That was absolutely precious and perfect answers. And thank you so much for being on Around Foxborough today. And I really appreciate you introducing yourself to our audience in Foxborough at the Foxboro Cable Access around Foxborough. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to talking again. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone again for watching Around Foxborough. My name is Julie Love. Our website is fcatv.org. You can click on video on demand and then click on studio shows and then click on Around Foxborough and then watch more episodes of our interviews. Thank you again, everyone. Our executive director is Michael Weber. Director is Paul Beck. And again, my name is Julie Love. See you next time.